Hey everybody, welcome to How I Do It. My name is Matt, and today we're going to do something a little bit different on the live stream. I have my daughter Dixie here with me, and she's going to go ahead and introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Dixie.
What are we going to do today, Dixie?
Today, I'm going to use Tinkercad for the first time with my dad.
So, Dixie has never seen Tinkercad before, so this is going to be a 6-year-old's impressions of Tinkercad live. You guys are going to see everything, every reaction, any struggles. We're going to see how simple Tinkercad actually is for a 6-year-old to learn. And you guys will be able to follow right along with us in the chat. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and post them in the chat. I'm going to do my best to pay attention to the chat while helping Dixie, but obviously my main focus is going to be helping Dixie tonight learn how to use Tinkercad. So before the stream, Dixie and I were talking, and she decided that she wants to make a vase, right?
Yes.
So I figured that's a pretty simple thing to get started with, just 1 or 2 shapes and learning how to make a hole and subtracting that from it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And if we have time, then we're going to also try to make an eyeball, right? I know. We're going to try to design a 3-dimensional for 3D printing, but essentially a 2D eyeball that she can print out really thin, and then we're going to turn it into a sticker for her to use on her crafts. Something really small, something simple, uses just a few pieces, and prints quickly, so I can print a bed full of these and she'll be able to throw them in her scrapbooking drawer or craft drawer to be able to use them at a later date. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and Dixie did want to give you guys the one rule for the chat room. What's going to happen in the chat room?
If you send silly ones, my dad is going to delete them because I can't read those kind.
Dixie's going to be the moderator tonight. If she doesn't like something in the chat, she's supposed to instruct me to delete it. So we're going to do our best to answer questions and let you know if you guys have questions about, what she's thinking. Feel free to ask them. And so far in the chat right now, before we get started, everybody's been in for a little bit as we've been getting set up. I see we have Glenn from Fun King 3D. You remember Glenn and Xander from New York Maker Faire, don't you?
Yeah.
Yep. We have Martin, 3D Printed Iceland. Did we get something from Glenn or from Martin?
Yes.
Do you want to show everybody really quick?
And we got a landscape.
Hold it up for the camera.
The grays are mountains, and this is all water, and that's all grass. This is in Iceland, and it's on my toy globe. And you have to use a pen, and it will tell you. And Iceland is really tiny, so that's why, but people can't live there.
Yep, people can live there. So what Dixie was saying, we got this from Martin, and just the other week, we got Dixie one of the interactive globes. And Martin, the very first thing that she found, or wanted to find on the globe, was first of all where we live. Secondly, she wanted to find Iceland, so we figured out where Iceland is, and she knows where that is on planet Earth, ain't?
And we also have a wino, and its legs are flexible. He can lay down, stand up, sit, and he can walk like that. But I don't know where mine is, so I couldn't get it.
Yeah, Martin sent us 2 of them, so Dixie has one.
Oh yeah, I need a study bear.
And he sent us Haribo candy, ain't?
Yeah.
So let's see, who else do we have in the chat? We have Sean Dragon Monk.
I don't
Mike,
know him.
You don't know him? You met him at Nova Maker Faire and out at Murph.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah. We had Mike Whaley. I don't think you know Mike.
No, I don't.
We had Mike NLTMW. I think he's still in there. Apocalyptic Survivor. 3D Medic Vince. We met him at Murph when Daddy was talking to Joel. Right after that, we met Vince.
Yeah, when we were staying at the hotel.
Yep. Alright, so we're glad everybody could join us. Again, questions,
You're
comments?
on there.
Oh, and we have John from You Do It, but he's not here. Oh, now he said, just kidding, he's here. You met John, too, at New York Maker Faire, remember?
But Dad,
He
you're
was-
on there.
Well, yeah, Daddy's on there, of course. Remember John had the big Maker coin when we were all standing around talking that everybody signed the back of his Maker coin at New York?
Yeah.
Yep. Daddy's going to get to see Sean and John tomorrow down at Printed Solids little meetup that they're having.
Why won't get to come?
Well, we'll see. Okay. Maybe you'll be there, maybe not. I'm not sure. We got to talk to Mommy. So, we're going to go ahead and get started, guys. Everybody in the chat saying hi, Dixie. So, alright, Dix. We're going to switch over here so everybody can see what we're seeing on the screen. Which, that was the wrong screen. Sorry about that. There we go. Learning my setup in XSplit. Okay. So, at this point, I'm going to let Dixie take over the mouse and the keyboard, and I'm going to point out things to her, and let's see what she can do with Tinkercad. Think we're going to get a vase on the first try?
Yes.
Alright. Okay, so over on the right-hand side, Dixie, we have different shapes, okay? And if you take the mouse over there, move the mouse over, and then use the scroll wheel and scroll down. So you've got all these different shapes that you can use, okay?
I want to see what's at the way bottom. Oh, it's diamond.
Alright, now there's a whole bunch of other shapes, but we're just going to start here to keep it simple, okay?
Yes.
So what shape would you like your vase to be? Would you like it to be a square or cube?
I think this is one. I think the last one is one for it. I think the diamond is.
You want to do a diamond vase? We can see what that does. Okay, so you're going to click on it. You're going to drag it out there on the blue square.
Yeah.
So click and hold and drag it out. Keep going. There you go. See it coming out onto the screen?
Yep.
Alright, and when you let go, it places it on the screen. Okay?
Okay, but why is that there then? Why?
Well, so that is your diamond. Now, watch this. If we click somewhere off of it and drag, we got to use this button, the right button. Okay? You see which one Daddy's pushing?
Yes.
See how I can drag the screen around so we can look at it in different ways? Okay? So we have a diamond. Now, the first thing for 3D printing, a lesson for you, is see how the diamond is sitting on a point?
Yes.
That makes it really, really hard to print, okay? The printer has a hard time starting with a small point like that. So the first thing we're going to do...
Can you make a triangle?
It can make a triangle, but it still can't really do one upside down, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to click on our shape again. Let's zoom back out, okay? And you use the wheel to zoom in and zoom out, okay? So if you roll it away from you, or towards you and away from the screen, it goes out. See how the screen's moving away?
Yeah.
And if we roll it towards the screen, it gets bigger. Okay?
Yes, but Dad, what if you do like...
Oh, now you're inside of it. Okay, so move the mouse over and let's click on the shape again, because we want to edit the shape. We want to flip it over the one on your screen, baby.
Which one? That one?
Yep. Whoa. There you go. Okay, don't let go now. Let go. Oh, you're going to reposition it?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing we want to do is rotate it so it's upside down so it has a nice flat surface to print, okay?
How?
So do you see the arrows that are kind of a circle with an arrow on either end? Yep. Click and hold on that.
Which one?
Right there, the one you're on.
This one?
Yep, press and hold.
That
Or
one?
click and hold, I'm sorry.
That one? That one?
Yep. And then move your mouse to the side. Click and hold again. Oh, you let go. So click and hold. And then move it to the side. Keep going until it's upside down. There you go.
Oops.
There you go. Perfect. Okay, so now we got an upside down diamond. So what we're going to do is to make it easier to 3D print it, we're going to actually print it upside down, I think, in this case. Alright?
Dad, wanna know how I noticed that?
Yeah. So, if we make it that big, that's going to be pretty small, right?
Yeah.
We want it to be a big vase that we can put flowers in or something, right?
Yeah.
And then Daddy can seal it so that it holds water and we can actually put real flowers in. Sound like a good idea?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what we want to do is make it bigger. Alright. So let's go. Do you see the black arrow right underneath the circles that you clicked on?
Yeah.
Yep, right. Oop. Try again. I think that's going to be the right one. And I might be wrong when I tell you this. Go down until it turns red. That. Down a little bit.
Ow.
Here, let's try changing our view. Remember how we change our view? We use the right button. Nope. Nah, that's zooming in and out. Zoom back in. Okay. Whoop. Hold it. Hold it. Whoa, you went too far.
I went inside of it. How do you even go inside of that thing?
By zooming into the middle of it. Okay, so let's use the right... No.
Like that.
Okay. Let's use the right mouse button.
Which makes...
Over here, this one. Okay, and then drag the mouse towards you to zoom. There you go. Whoop. Okay, now see if you can click on that black triangle at the top.
Can't get it.
Just move the mouse slowly, okay? You're so used to using touch stuff. There. Let Daddy help you a little bit. Right there. Okay. So click on it.
Which one?
The left button.
This one?
Yep. Click and hold. I forget. Daddy hasn't used Tinkercad in a little bit. Yep, I was wrong. Okay, let's undo that. So we're gonna look on the keyboard. Press Control. Right here. Control. Press and hold that, and press Z with your other finger. Or
Z.
Z. Can you find the letter Z? Whoop! You pressed it too many times. Hold on. Okay. Press Control.
Control.
And nope, not Z. We're gonna press Y this time. Just press it one time. You can use your other hand to press it. Y, not W. Whoa! Hang on. Okay, let go.
I don't know which one's Y on there.
Did you close Tinkercad? I think you did. Alright, hang on. We gotta get back to Tinkercad now.
Dad, but now we have to do it over again.
Nope, it saved it. Well, I think it saved it. Let's put it that way.
So say, no, it's in the time.
Okay, we do have to do it all over again.
Oh.
But that's alright. We only messed up 2 steps, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's find your diamond again.
Diamond.
Do you remember how to do that?
Yep. Nah. Nah.
Yeah, John, we can clear the workspace by hitting Alt F4 and apparently now Control W too.
Oh, I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong.
About what?
About that.
About what shape? You want to pick a different shape?
Yeah. No, it can't be that shape. No.
Yeah, it doesn't make a really good vase, does it? Makes a good ring.
Yeah, it does.
There's a star. You could do a star vase. You want to do that? That might be a little bit easier than the diamond.
Oh, what about this kind of ring? A big solid, I don't know.
Let's do the yellow one, just because it's going to be a little bit easier to work with your first time, okay? Oh. Keep dragging over, put it right in the middle of the screen, okay? Alright. So now, if we print that, it's going to be pretty small. It's going to be like this big, okay? So, let's do something a little bit different than we were going to before. You see the white box in the middle of it?
Yeah.
Can you put the mouse on there?
Yep.
Move down a little bit. Right there. Okay, click and hold. And then move the mouse towards the screen. See how it gets bigger?
Wow.
Alright, so let's go, that's 39 millimeters. So do you want to see how big that's going to be?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me find, did you just call me ma'am?
Yes! I'm so sorry.
Yeah, John, apparently Control W, that's what she pressed and Chrome closed.
Who are you speaking to?
John from You Do It. Not from she should do it, he should do it, or how I do it.
Like that one? Like
Yep,
that
yeah, like that sticker right there. Where's
no, I
Daddy's?
read the one with the glue on it.
Nope.
That's Pink I Do It.
Pink I Do It. Great. Now she's joining in the I Do It.
I Do It.
Okay, where'd our calipers go? Maybe we won't be able to do measurements, but Daddy can tell you that 40 millimeters or 39 millimeters is about this tall. Okay? Well, actually, probably about that tall.
It's taller than my hand.
Well, we can't go quite that big. We don't have that big of a printer.
Right there.
Yeah. So look, 39 millimeters is going to be about this tall. Okay. Hey, we're gonna be right back real quick. Dixie and I have to go say goodnight to our sister really quick and get the dog to stop barking.
Yeah, her name's I don't give a name.
Oh, thanks, John. I'm glad to hear that you can barely hear the dogs. Our beagle's kind of loud. All right, we'll be right back in just a second. Okay, everybody, we're back. Sorry about that. So where we left off, we have Dixie picked a star for the second go round on the vase. We learned a valuable lesson to begin with, didn't we? Don't press Control W.
Yes.
So we picked a vase. Currently, Dixie extruded it. That's what that's called when you made it taller. That's called extruding.
Yes, and I pushed the middle square.
Good job. All right, you already learned something. Great. So she extruded it to 39 millimeters tall, which I should have grabbed my calipers before we went back to being live, just so she could get an idea how big that was. I still don't know what I did with them. Do you know what I did with them?
Mm-hmm.
You know the thing that slides that I measure stuff with?
I think I had my
there it
hand.
is.
Yeah, I had that.
Okay, so now we can visualize how big it is, okay? So we're going to go to 39 millimeters. Everything in 3D printing is millimeters. You know how everything we measure is in inches and feet?
Uh-huh.
Everything in 3D printing is done in millimeters. I shouldn't say everything, but that's the common way to do it.
How much feet am I?
I forget exactly what your height is, but you're like 3
1,
feet.
2,
You're a little over 3 feet.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
You think you're 10 feet? Yeah, I don't think so. Okay, so look, this is 39 millimeters. Do you want it bigger or smaller?
Bigger.
Okay, so how do we do that?
No, no, no.
Say, do you want to tell everybody what you're doing as you do it?
I am right now making it
Taller. And how are you going to make... Whoop, nope, now you're moving it around. Because you didn't click on the square. You got to make sure the square highlights. So move down to the square. I probably should get you a smaller mouse to use.
I need help.
There you go, right there. Whoop, not quite. Move it over a little bit to the right. There you go. So you're going to click on the square. It turns red. So that's 47 millimeters. Now here's another way we can do it. Do you see... Whoop, let me get that to come back. Do you see where it says 47 right here, Dixie?
Yeah.
We can type in the number for how big we want it to be, okay? So let's use the calipers and we'll pick a size. What looks good. You tell me when to stop, when you're happy with the height of it.
Stop.
Right there? Alright, well that's about 85 millimeters. So do you want it to be, it'll be from here to here.
No, I want it to be how it is.
Okay, so let's go... Right there's 100 millimeters. Do you want to go 100 millimeters?
Yay!
Okay, I think that'll be a decent size. We can put some
Yeah.
smaller flowers in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so we're going to type in the number 100. Do you know how to do that?
Yes, I do. Where's 1? No. Is there any zeros on it?
Yep. So 1,
1.
and then press enter. Whoa, look how big that got. It went off the screen. Alright,
Can they see that?
Alright, John, thanks for joining in. Thanks for letting the stream run in the background. Okay, so now we're going to press enter to save that 100.
Which
Can you
was
press enter?
enter.
Do you remember?
This one?
Yep. Okay, so now it's 100 millimeters tall. So we're going to zoom out.
Zoom out.
So that's pretty tall, but it's really skinny, right? We could only put like maybe one flower in there or something.
Yeah, one flower might be good.
Man, Daddy should have learned how to use Tinkercad before we started. Okay. So let's bring this back in the middle of our area.
Whoa! Hello!
Oops, did I just copy it?
Yes.
Yeah, I did. Okay, so we're gonna... How did I do that?
You took it out.
There we go. Okay, so we're gonna move it back in the center of our screen just to make... Gosh darn it, I did it again.
You're silly, Daddy.
Okay, you put it back in the center of the screen, kinda. Okay, so now it's really tall, but if we click on it, okay, and we go down here, right now it's 15 millimeters by 14.27 millimeters, okay?
I thought it was 100.
Which, no, that's 100 tall, okay? This is how wide it is. So let me show you what 15 looks like. Okay, so that's how wide it is. Do you want it to be that skinny?
Yes.
Do you want the vase to be that skinny?
No, I want it to be 100 skinny.
Yeah, 100 skinny. So just so everybody can kind of get an eye on the camera, 15 millimeters is pretty small for anybody who's not aware. Which you'd only be able to put like one flower in there, right?
Yeah, let's do 100.
Well, we can do 100. It's up to you, but let's see what. Tell me when to stop when you think it's wide enough, okay? Don't look at the numbers, just look at the width.
Stop.
Right there, you think that's wide enough? Okay, that is 50 millimeters. So it's 49, but we'll round it up to 50. Okay? So we're going to do the same thing, okay?
Are you still watching, John?
Yeah, John's still at it. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing, except now we want to change it this way and this way, right?
No.
So instead of, yeah, we want to make it wider and deeper, okay? So instead of clicking to make it get taller, we clicked on the square at the top. What do you think we do to make it wider?
Click on the square at the bottom.
Yep. Do you think we click on one of the ones in the corners or in the middles?
Middles?
So you have, see how you have the 4 white squares and the 4 black squares? Which ones do you think we should click on? If we want to make it go this way, which one should we click on?
This one.
Okay, that one will make it go both ways. See, if you put your mouse over it, do you see those numbers pop up? So now you can click on that and drag it this way. Whoa, there you go. Do you want to do this by numbers, or do you just want to make it a certain width?
Like this.
Okay, so that's going to be, if we do that, that's going to be pretty big, okay? It's going to take a while to print. That's one thing we got to remember. So it's going to be this wide, okay?
Okay.
Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So let's, just to see what the numbers are, we're going to move this back in the middle again, okay? So right now we are 100 millimeters, 108 millimeters wide, okay? And we're 76 millimeters deep.
Oh, man.
Stars are kind of like squares, right?
Yeah.
They can either be, or they're like, they can be like a square or like a rectangle. They can be the same size this way and this way, or they can be wider in one way. Right now ours is wider. Do you want it to be wider in one direction than the other? Does that make sense? Okay. So we'll leave it like that, okay? So now, if we print this just like it is, do you think it'll be a vase? Go big or stay home. Apocalyptic survivors said, or apocalypse survivors said, "Go big or go home." Is that your attitude?
Oh, Shane.
Yep. Hang on a second.
Hi, Shane.
Let's get rid of that.
Hi, Shamey.
We forgot to mute our phone, Dix.
Dad, look, I'm going in Florida. Dad, look how far I went in.
Yeah. All right. Let's zoom back out. Sorry about that, everybody.
It was my cousin Shane coming.
Okay.
Okay, I think we should do something.
Well, okay, hold on a second. So, if we just stopped right here, do you think that would hold flowers?
Yeah, but Dad, can we like put designs on it?
We can then, but let's keep it simple for this first time, okay? So, this has all the sides of the star, right?
Yes.
And they're solid, right? You can't see inside of it.
Yes.
Okay?
Unless you scroll through it.
Well, unless you scroll through it.
I can see
What about the
inside
top?
of it.
Is the top solid? Can you look down inside of it from the top without scrolling inside of it?
No, I think we should do something else.
Do you think we should do something else to
Yes.
make it a vase? What do we have to do to make it a vase?
We have to put circles.
Well, so the vases that we put flowers in, okay? Or let's use this jar, okay? Is that a solid thing? Is it completely solid that you can't put your finger inside of it?
No,
What's it have in it that you have to put stuff in? What's that called?
a jar.
Wow. What are you putting your hand? Don't play with the bearings. What are you putting your hand in right now?
A jar.
Yeah, but what on the jar are you putting your hand in? Is it a hole?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a hole in it, right?
That.
So it doesn't have a top, but it does have a bottom, right? That's how it holds
Yes,
water.
that comes up. Delete those people, delete them.
Okay, So it has a bottom, but it doesn't have a top, right? So we got to get rid of the top one here, right?
How do you do that?
Well, you remember Daddy accidentally copied the star, and I made two of them? Okay, so what if we click on the star one time? Okay, now, up at the top, do you see the two squares up in the top left corner? Way up there, underneath the Tinkercad?
Yeah.
Nope. Up, look where I'm pointing. Up there. Do you see the two squares?
There.
No. Come down. Right there. Okay, that's copy. So click on that. And then right beside it, do you see the clipboard with the square?
Yeah.
Right beside the two squares we clicked on.
Yeah.
That's for paste. Okay, so we're going to copy it and we're going to paste it. So click on paste. And now we have two of them. Alright?
Yeah.
So let's drag one of them out of the way for now. Click on either one and just drag it over to the side. There you go. That works. So we'll get rid of that. It's out of the way. Actually, let's tell you what. Let's, just in case somebody joins in and doesn't see what we're doing, let's bring it back into view, but off to the side a little bit, okay? And then we're going to take this one and we're going to put it front and center so we can work on it. Okay?
Yeah.
So now, I wish I had a better base. Okay, let's use this box. In order to make a box, you have what? What shape is this?
Four. Square.
It's a square, okay? But now, so inside of a square, to make a box. Okay, let go. Stop.
I want one.
Well, we're not playing with them. So you have a corner here, right?
Yes.
A corner here, a corner
Yes,
here, and
yes,
a corner here,
yes,
right?
Yes.
What makes a box? What makes a square a box? It has a hole in the top, right? What's the shape of the hole?
It's a rectangle.
Yep. Okay. So, but yeah, the whole box is a rectangle, right?
Yeah.
So, what do you think we need to do then to make a star into a vase where it's hollow inside? We need to take a star and make a smaller star inside of it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I
So,
know exactly what to do. You click over there. And do
well, now we already have two stars, right? They're the same exact size right now, okay? So all we really need to do is make this one a little bit smaller than that one, right?
Okay.
So do you remember how you changed the sizes of it? Now don't actually drag on anything just yet, okay?
Yeah.
We don't need to change it in height. I'll show you a trick in a minute to make a vase.
Small.
Okay, so we want to make it just a little bit skinnier. Do you remember we can type in numbers to make it bigger and smaller? Okay. So let's do this.
I
Hold
think
on.
it could be 3, 8, 9.
Oh,
3,
yeah.
8, 9. Yeah.
Look, hold
3,
on.
8, 9.
Don't type anything yet. So we clicked on this corner over here to make it bigger both ways. Remember when we made it wider. So if
Wait a second. Maybe it's those two corners.
hold on.
Maybe it is.
Maybe. All right, listen. So look, if we click on the ones in the corners, we change it both ways that the arrows show up. Do you see them on the screen?
Yeah.
Here, let me put the mouse back on it. You see how the arrows pop up both this way and that way?
Yes.
So we only want to change it in one direction just to make it a little bit easier, okay? So we're gonna put our mouse here in that middle square. Do you see it?
You won't believe me letting me do it.
I know. I'm gonna let you do it right now. But watch. So when I put my mouse there, do you see the number popped up over there on the side?
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Yes.
76.27. All right. Let it go. So if we click on that and we go over to that number, remember we can type in our own numbers.
Yep.
Okay. So let's do that. Go ahead and click on it on the black box in the middle.
These.
Nope, with the mouse.
These.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Yep. Move your mouse up. Click on that down here. This one. Nope. Keep coming down. Right there. Keep going until it turns red. Oh, right there. Click on it. And then go over really quick to where it says, oh, you got to do it again.
Oh, I can't do that.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, go ahead and do it that way once.
Which way?
Right there. Click on it. really need to get you a smaller mouse. My laptop's not down here. I'd grab the mouse out of it. Little movements, baby. Here, put your hand up on top of the mouse. It makes it a little bit easier, okay? Hey, Ron. You want to say hi to Ron in the chat? And Tanner?
Nope.
So, for those of you who are just joining into the stream, this is Dixie's first time using Tinkercad. She is how old?
6.
6 years old. And unfortunately, she's struggling a little bit with my mouse because my mouse is made for an adult. It's not really a big, small mouse. So she's having a little bit of difficulty just with like the fine movements of the cursor. But right now, what we're working on for her very first project in Tinkercad, and I'm going to click on the number over there really quick. Hurry up. Right. Oh. I'll make it easier in a second. Let me tell everybody what we're doing, okay? So for Dixie's first project in Tinkercad, don't play with the springs. Okay.
I just want one.
Her first project, what we're doing is she chose that she wanted to make a vase for her first project.
On my tail.
So she picked a star, right?
Yes.
And what did we do with the star after we moved it onto our work area?
I forget.
We made it taller, right?
Yes.
And then what did we do?
I forget how we did.
Well, look at the star. Remember, it started out really small and skinny. So we made it tall and what?
And
Wider.
wider.
Yep. So we made it tall and wider so far. And now we're at the point that we copied the star. And we're... Ron said you're already way ahead of him.
Who?
Ron in the chat. You met him at Murph, too.
I need to tell you something when I was doing.
Okay, well, here, let me tell him what we're working on, okay? So we made it taller, we made it wider, and then we duplicated it. So you can see on the screen we have 2 copies of it right now.
Yes.
So what we're working on now is Dixie figured out that in order to make a vase, we have to have the same shape a little bit smaller inside of our vase, right?
Yes.
To make it, cut a hole in it, right? So that way it can hold water. So that's the point we're at now. So I'm teaching her how to do it, and for the most part just letting her do everything. So this is kind of a you're getting a 6-year-old's first impressions of Tinkercad as they come off, right?
Yes.
Alright, so let's put the spring back down.
Something what I was doing.
What?
I need to tell him that I was playing.
Okay, really quick.
I was playing with this little spring.
Okay, so we need to make it smaller or skinnier, right?
Yeah, but I don't know how to do that.
Okay, so we're going to make it a little bit easier because there's 2 ways you can do this in Tinkercad. You can click on the squares. Hold on. You can click on the squares and drag things around. And if you're quick enough with the mouse, which, like I said, because of the size of my mouse, Dixie's having a little bit of trouble with it, you can click on one of the dimensional squares, the transformation squares, and real quick go over and click on the number. But that's a little bit difficult for a 6-year-old to do quickly. So we're going to go up here to the top. Do you see the ruler at the top? You see the thing that's shaped like an L and it's blue up in the top right corner? You see that, Dix? Hey, sit down.
Yes, now I see it.
Oh, okay, you had to get up to see it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so take the mouse up there and click and drag the ruler onto the print area, or the build area. And it
There's a
doesn't...
build.
That's the blue thing that we're putting our stars on. Okay, yep. Click on that, press and hold, and drag it all the way down and just drop it on there somewhere. It doesn't have to be anywhere specific, okay? There, so now this makes it a little bit easier. We can see, by doing that, we can see all of our measurements, okay? So you don't have to click on the little squares anymore. You like that better?
Yeah!
Okay, so down here at the bottom, do you see where it says 108? We can zoom in. Remember how to zoom in? Don't go too far, though. Oh, that was out. Let's zoom in out. Zoom in. Oh, back up a little bit.
I didn't want to see inside of it again.
You wanted to go inside again? Okay, now let's go back.
I know how.
Okay, you gotta put the mouse on the screen. Right there. Keep going back. Stop. Right there. So you see where it says 108? Our microphone's kind of hiding it. Can you click on that?
Microphone's right there. But why is the
Right
microphone on?
there. Okay. So it's 108. So we just want to make it kind of skinny, a little bit skinnier, right?
Yes.
So I'm
Yes.
gonna here. Hold on.
I'm just getting ready.
All right. We don't need the mouse this time.
I'm just getting ready.
Okay. So let's go. Daddy's gonna pick this number out, okay? Just because I know what'll work best. All right. As far as for the first time, okay. So
Another ruler.
we want to go a little bit smaller than 108. But look, let's get the calipers back out so we can see how we're doing, okay? Stop. So this is going to be how wide the vase is. So we use this box, right?
Yeah.
And this is the width of the thickness of the sides, okay?
I'm getting my.
So look, let's. Do you think this is a good thickness for our vase?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's take the calipers and we're just going to measure that to get our number, okay? So look, I'm going to stick them on there, and that is 3 millimeters wide. Okay. So watch. Let's do this. All right, we're done with the springs.
Wow.
Hey, we're done with the springs. Okay. So I want, what is 8 minus 6?
8 minus 6. 8 minus 6. 8 minus 6.
Oh wait, Daddy's wrong. Yeah, 8 minus 6. What's 8 minus 6?
6. Okay.
What is it?
8,
Do you need a piece of paper to write it down?
7, 8, 7. No, that's a 5.
Nope. Yeah, you're right. You can use the measurements on here. So you start at 8 and subtract 6.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
That would be 8 minus 4. So you got to go 2 more, right, to get to 6. So start here at 4. Go 2 more.
3, 2.
2? Okay. So we're going to make it 102.
And 1.
Well, yeah, but 2's 8 minus 6, right? So we're going to make it 102 millimeters
I
wide.
can't get up.
There you go. So type in 102.
102.
Okay, go ahead, type it in.
1.
Okay, so there it's 102 millimeters wide, okay? Now we have to do the same thing from the front to the back. We got to make it 6 millimeters skinnier, right?
Uh-oh.
So now we're going to go hit enter.
Where's enter?
Okay, so now that locked that in, all right? So now we need to go over here on the side where it says 76.27.
Feel?
Yep. Did you see it over here? There you go. Come down. Over to the left. Right there. See where it says 76.2?
Yes.
Or, well, 76.27. So click inside. There you go. Click on that. Okay, so that's 76, okay? So what's... let's forget the 0.27, all right? That doesn't matter. It's all right. What's 6 minus 6?
6 minus 6. 0.
0, okay. So we're going to add 70 to that. That makes it 70, right? 70 plus 0 is 70.
Oh, yeah, I know how to do 70. It's
Okay.
easy.
Go ahead.
7.
Oh, that was 77. You want 70.
70.
So you got to go back. You got to delete one. There. Okay. There, so let's start over.
70.
So 70. Okay. Nope. No. Daddy deleted all your numbers. So type in 70.
70.
Look, Mommy's in the chat.
Hi, Mommy.
Camera's up there.
Hi, Mommy.
Okay, so we're going to make it 70 millimeters deep. Okay, so press enter to lock that in.
Enter.
Now, here comes the fun part. So, to subtract a shape from a shape, we need a hole, right?
Yeah.
So let's make it a hole, alright?
How do you make a hole?
So up here at the top, you see where it says shape, and it has solid with the color yellow?
Yes.
Do you see the one next to it that's kind of the gray lines at the top that's a hole underneath of it?
Yes, done. Where's
Oh,
after one?
not at the shapes, up top here. See where it's yellow
Yeah.
and then says hole next to it?
Yeah.
Go to the one that says hole and click on that. Okay? Look, it made it hollow. Or invisible almost, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a pair of scissors. It cuts. Okay?
Now I can see fluid everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. All
Look
right.
how dark I go in.
Okay, zoom back out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mommy said hi again. She said Mrs. Taylor would be proud of you learning to do math. Or working on your math skills. Okay, so now we got to take this shape and we have to move it up a little bit. Otherwise, if we move it over onto our other star right now, it'll just cut a hole all the way through it from top to bottom, right? And we want it. We still want it. Well, okay, we can try it. You can see what it does. So drag it over to the other star. Okay, keep going. Bring it back a little bit towards us. Actually, I'll tell you what. Let's take the yellow one, put it in the middle.
This middle.
Yep. Okay, now grab the hole and drag it over and kind of try to center them up a little bit. Right there. Wow, you did really good with that. I think you got it perfect. Good job. So now, see how the top's grayed out a little bit? So if we combine those and make them one piece, it's going to have a hole the whole way through the bottom. See, watch. If I scroll down and look at the bottom of it, flip it up to the underside, see, you can see that hole is going to be there too, watch. So we're going to go like this. We're going to draw a box. See how I'm not clicking on anything? But then when I drag, see the red square that's going to up here?
Yeah.
If I let go, it'll select both of them, okay? So go ahead, you do that. Draw, click somewhere off in the white and draw a box around both shapes.
How?
Click up where Daddy did, and then drag down and let go. Okay, so now you selected both of them, alright?
And I need to go to the bottom so I can see that.
Well, hold on, I'll show you.
Well, let's see how it looks this time.
So you can see the star. You did get that. You lined them up perfectly on your first shot. I don't think too many people can do that, kiddo.
What happened? What happened?
Okay, so let's zoom back out. You gotta move your mouse back down onto the screen. There you go. Other way.
Well, I want to see how dark it gets now.
No, alright, let's zoom out.
Yeah, but we
Remember, everybody's waiting to see if you can do this or not. So keep zooming out until you can see the top. Okay, stop. So now you have them both selected, right?
Yeah.
So up, remember where we made it the one a hole?
Yes.
Go up there, look up above that. Do you see the square with the circle that are kind of like...
Here?
Up, keep going up to the right. I'll move it up there and show you.
I can't see one in a hole.
Right there, okay? That's called group.
Group.
Okay, so we're going to group them together.
Group.
Not group. Group. Okay?
Group.
Click on it.
I'm going to call that group.
Now watch what happens. Not just, you don't have to drag it, just click on it. Go back up there and click on it again. Look. Alright. Now,
I see the bottom.
yep, zoom, or not zoom, but hang on. You gotta put your mouse back up on the screen before you click. So right click, and then, nope, that was left. Use your right mouse button, this one over here.
Oh
It's okay. Use your right mouse button, and then drag up. Keep going, see how you can see straight through it? Well, that's not gonna hold any water, will it?
no.
Okay.
We need something on the bottom.
We need a bottom, you're right. Okay. So let's go back 2 steps. Okay.
No, wait, I know.
What?
We could make a square.
You could, which
Can
would
I-
give it kind of a base.
Yeah.
But
let's make a square.
Daddy has an easy, well, that's gonna select it, baby. Remember when you click and draw the box around, it selects both of them?
Oops.
It's alright. So look, here, Daddy's gonna go, let's rotate back up so we can see the whole thing again. Okay.
Oh,
Alright, now watch. I'm going to go back 2 steps. Okay? Up there, up at the top left, do you see the back
Just
arrow?
spit on there.
Okay. Do you see the back arrow?
Yes.
Go
I
click
know.
on the back arrow 1 time.
This arrow.
No. Right there. Yep, that one. 1 time. Okay, see, we got our 2 shapes back now, okay?
Yeah.
Now, let's try to select the one in the middle.
This one.
Yep, click on it. Okay. Yep, you got that one. Okay, so let's rotate our
Let's
view.
rotate.
Hang on. So remember when we first started, how you drug the star up?
Yes.
Okay, hang on a second.
Dad, you're moving.
Okay, remember how we moved it up in the air?
Yes.
We used that little black triangle right there.
Yeah.
Let's click on that one again, and we're gonna drag it up just a little bit.
Tell me when to stop.
Oh, you know what? Never mind. Don't do that. Daddy's got an easier road. Remember we dropped the ruler on, which lets us type the numbers in?
Oh,
Over here. Where's it at?
yeah.
Okay, see the zeros down there at the bottom on the right-hand side?
Yeah.
Click on those. There. Okay, remember we went through, we wanted it to be 3 wide
Yes.
for the thickness?
That mouse, your mouse.
I know, my mouse. Okay, so let's make the bottom 3 thick, too. Type in the number 3.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it's going to
that's
be,
easy.
all the sides will be 3 millimeters thick, okay? Press enter. Whoop, did you see what happened?
What?
It moved it up a little bit.
Anna?
Yep, press enter. So it moved it up by 3 millimeters, okay?
I want to do 8 millimeters.
No, we don't want to do that because then it won't work, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so, what was the next step we did after we lined them up to make the hole? Or to actually cut it out. Do you remember what we did?
Oh, I forgot.
We drew the rectangle, or drew a box around the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do that again. Let's select both of them.
Just go.
Go ahead.
Let's go. Select.
So remember, we're going to go off in the white somewhere and drag a box around the whole thing. Okay, so now you selected them both. Then what did we do? Do you remember? It sounded like somebody from Guardians of the Galaxy. We grouped them together. Grouped. Okay, do you remember how to group it? Click on group.
Hi, group. Hi, group.
There you go. Okay. So
Hi, group.
we got rid of the top, right? We cut a hole in the top of it.
Yeah.
Now let's double check the bottom and make sure it's not the whole way through. I think we did it.
Yay!
All right.
Can
You
we
made
make
your
an
first base.
eyeball?
Let's see. How long have we been streaming? Ron said, I am Groot in the chat.
I am group.
Do you want to tell everybody if they have any questions, they can ask you questions? Or maybe they want to know what you thought of making your first vase.
Do you guys have any questions, like even you, Mom?
You think Mommy's still upstairs watching?
Yeah.
Alright, so let's see how long we've been streaming to decide if we're going to do the eyeball 2 or not. Whoops. There's the printer back there printing in the background.
Can you see that?
You didn't see it?
No.
We have been streaming.
For 8 millimeters.
I don't even know how long we've been streaming. Oh,
Dad.
there it is.
I know how tall I am.
We've been streaming for 1 hour. So what do you say we call it? We call that good for this one?
Yeah!
And what we can do is we'll save this and we'll 3D print it, okay? And then the next time we do it, we'll do the eyeball. But we'll have your 3D printed vase right there, okay?
Oh.
Like, we'll actually have it printed out so you can show
like
everybody.
my mom said, I have time.
I know, but we don't want to stream for too long and tie everybody else up. Other people want to stream too, okay? So, we're going to stop here for the night with the stream. So do you want to say bye to everybody and say thanks for
Bye,
joining?
everybody. Thanks for joining. If you have any questions,
Go ahead and type them in the chat here and we'll answer them. Sound good?
go ahead and type them in the chat here and we'll answer them. Same thing what I said. They're silly. Nope. And also, you
Nothing
were
silly.
not allowed to do this again. You're not allowed to watch me again.
So, since your mom was a slacker and couldn't join in at the beginning of the stream, she wants to know what you're making, or what you made.
Okay, what did I do?
What did you make?
I made a vase.
And what shape's your vase?
A star.
A star-shaped vase. Let's see, what other questions did we have? What are you going to are you going to plant something in it, or are you going to That's actually a good point. John has a really good question. Are you going to plant something in it, or are we going to use it as a vase to put flowers in that we cut out of the garden?
Cut.
So we're gonna make, so after we print it, we're gonna make it waterproof, right? So it holds water. Because normally 3D prints don't really hold water very well. Let's see. After the vase, what are you going to make? Ron, brew it, print it, build it, blast it in the chat wants to know. What are you going to make after the vase is done?
We're going to make an eyeball like we have.
An eyeball? Apocalypse Survivor. What was the hardest part of Tinkercad for you to understand? What was the hardest thing that we did tonight?
Nothing.
Nothing? You think it was all pretty easy?
Yes, so delete that.
Delete that. What did you think of your first time? Was it difficult to do it?
No.
Was it really, really easy? Like, was it kind of like playing with blocks and Legos?
No, it was kind of like with the little...
Talk to the mic in the camera.
It was planned with a... It's planned with, stars.
Playing with stars? But that's kind of like playing with blocks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Did we have any other
And
questions?
would anybody like to see what we got again?
Does anybody want to see what we got from... Yeah, let's just show them what we got from Martin at 3DP Iceland, or 3D Printing Iceland.
Okay, and here comes he, and here comes the bad Wido.
Whoop.
Okay.
Yeah, we switched to the wrong screen. I brought us up full screen. Let's see.
And would anybody like to see the landscape?
Go ahead and show it to them. What did you think of using math?
It was great, because
You like
I already
using
know math, and here's the landscape, and wonder why I was hanging on the back of there. And if you guys forgot, these are the mountains, and grass, and water.
Do you remember what the shape of the part of Iceland that Martin sent us is? What's it look like? An animal?
Yes, it looks like a deer. And the deer are everywhere probably here.
Yep, so that's where they do go on deer hunting trips.
And so the deers can do their business.
Yep.
The poop's probably on the mountains.
Yeah. Alright, so let's get back to our vase, okay? We've got some more questions in the chat before we wrap things up.
Dad, when we're done, can I make little designs on it?
What we'll do is we'll save this.
No, I don't
Listen,
want to.
listen. What we'll do is we'll save it, and in the future, as you get better with Tinkercad, you can come back and you can change this. You can add things on the sides. You can change the shapes of it. Maybe we print it and you go, man, that's not big enough, or that's too big or too wide. We can come back in and we can change it. Okay?
Yeah, but Dad, quick, can I make one design on
Well,
it?
hold on. We got more questions, all right? Just bear with me here for one more second.
What is your question, everybody?
Ron wants to know when we're going to print it. You want to get it printing right after the stream's over?
Yes, that's what we're going to do, and I'm also going to make designs on it.
You're going to make designs on it?
I'm going to do designs on it from those.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is after the stream ends tonight, we're going to save this out and put it into the 3D printing slicer. And then we're going to send it to the printer. And we're going to print it out. And then once it's printed out, the next time that we do another Tinkercad stream,
It's going to be an eyeball.
maybe tomorrow evening before bedtime.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do another one. Maybe we'll try to work on the eyeball then. Okay. We'll have the vase so we can show everybody the vase that you made the first stream. And then we'll move into making an eyeball and using 3 pieces. Okay?
Okay.
Any
Can
other...
I show the people that how the designs are going to get?
Apocalypse Survivor said thank you for teaching him how to make a hole.
Does he know how?
He might not. You didn't know how to before the stream.
Yeah.
Do you think other kids can do this?
I don't know.
Here, talk to the microphone and the camera, remember?
I do not know if other people can do that.
That didn't sound robotic at all. Don't tap on it. That'll hurt people's ears on their headphones.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think you could have done this without any help at all?
No. Because I wouldn't know how to get on it.
But if say Daddy logged you into it and just cut you loose, do you think you could have made a vase?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think it was pretty easy to use? You could have
Yes.
figured it out.
Yes. I would have just let it.
Anything else you want to tell everybody
No.
about making your vase?
But it's okay, like, if they can still be on, so I can, like, show them the little signs that I put on.
We'll see. Okay. All right. So thanks everybody for joining in on the stream and seeing Dixie's first time using Tinkercad. I think we're going to continue to do this from time to time and live stream.
Dad, get all my designs. Okay.
Well, yeah, hold off on that, okay? Because we'll copy this and then you can put designs on another one.
Please.
All right, let me do the outro, okay? You going to say bye to everybody?
Bye, everybody. I'm just going to do 2 designs on it.
All right. While I do the outro, you can go ahead and play, all right?
Okay.
So thanks for joining us tonight on How I Do It. This is my first time with my daughter on Tinkercad, and I think she did pretty good for making a vase. She did something I'm not able to do, drop the shapes perfectly in line the first time. So we're going to print this vase out next time we stream and do a Dixie Learning. That's all right. The next time we do a Dixie Learning Tinkercad stream, currently the future project is going to be making a eyeball to 3D print that Dixie can then use in her crafts. For the vase, she's going to cut flowers out of the garden and put them, we're going to coat it with XTC 3D and make it watertight so that it'll hold water, and she can put flowers that she collects inside of it and sit it on our kitchen table. Sound good?
Yes.
Not sure exactly how frequently we're going to be doing these. It kind of depends on our availability and our schedule. But I think after tonight's stream, we're definitely going to continue to do these.
Yes.
And we'll come back to you guys with another stream. And we just want to thank everybody for joining us in the chat and following along. And for those who aren't in the chat, we'd love it if you guys joined in the chat and interacted, asked questions. So you had fun answering questions, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
And if you like this video, please go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos, more streams like this, or other project videos, and also keep track of the Friday night 3D printing community hangouts, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified of when we go live or new video uploads, be sure to ring that bell. So thanks everybody, have a good night. I'm Matt, and this is how we do it.
Okay, that's all I